Hey, everybody.
Good morning, guys. How's
Good
everybody
morning.
doing?
So, we've had a little bit of a wild and crazy last week, haven't we? We wanted to come on today to talk a little bit about the flooding that has happened in our area, and just kind of put out a few things that you might want to consider if this happened to be the first time that your home might have flooded. I got to tell you, I'm just a little shocked that we're kind of back here. I know that a lot of people, probably myself included, felt like, Harvey was this, test of epic proportions that, I don't know, maybe some of us felt like we passed, right? Can't tell me I'm the only one that's kind of guilty of thinking that way. Good morning, Mom.
Good morning.
But I think what the last week has proven is that, we can end up at any given point having a storm that, kind of rolls into our area and parks it and dumps a ton of rain. And, they're just going to be areas that can't handle it. And you may think that your area can because it has in the past, but we have an ever-changing environment of new construction, and there can be one-off things where a drain is blocked, or there can be things that you just really can't foresee. So, number one, call your insurance agent and get flood insurance if you don't already have it. Don't think, oh, we did fine in Harvey, so I don't need it. Not true.
I think it's a small price to pay.
It's like $400 and something, right? So call and do it today. There's a 30-day waiting period. Okay. I've told you. Okay. So we just kind of wanted to talk a little bit. I feel like, the water got super high in our neighborhood. We were in Florida when this happened. We kind of watched everything unfold from our phones and we're freaking out. We weren't home. I have basically my entire family lives in this neighborhood. So the thought of something like that happening is just overwhelming for me because of all of my clients and my family and everybody. And I think that thankfully, and unfortunately for this one person, I believe there was only one house that actually took on water in our neighborhood, but it was super close. And I know everyone else was probably just as freaked out as we were. Haley ended up losing her car. It was parked in front of my house because we were out of town and had left for the airport and left her car there. So that was super unfortunate. But we're grateful that our homes didn't take on water. Mm-hmm. We had a listing that flooded, and breaks my heart for my clients. So we just kind of wanted to talk about, so what if it happens? If it did happen, I'm just going to say, I'm sorry. I know you're probably completely exhausted and you feel like you're getting, used to your new normal right about this time. And because it's something that, you're dealing with for months. So I just want you to know that if this happened, and it's the one time it's happened, I don't want you to feel like your house can't ever sell. But I do kind of want to go over some things that are going to make that process easier, because I'll tell you that I had many clients who bought homes that flooded during Harvey. I even had one that had a house that flooded during Harvey that we sold, and they turned around and bought another one in another area that had flooded during Harvey. They gathered as much information as they could, and they made that judgment call. So I know that the thought of selling a home that's flooded can be super intimidating. So I just want you to know that the most important thing is that you over disclose. The best way to make a buyer feel comfortable is to provide them with as much information as possible, because if they feel like there's been anything that has been glossed over, maybe not fully shared, and they begin to wonder, what the full picture looked like, and if there's something that's being withheld. And as soon as they feel that way, there's no way it's going to happen. So I would say that there's some important information that you need to make sure that you're gathering at this point. And I'm sure you're tired, and you may not be documenting this, but it's important that you just write these things down, take photos, do the things that you need to do.
Lots of photos.
The most important things that I feel like need to be documented, you need to document when the water entered the home. What date and time was that? When did that happen? When did it recede?
How many inches it took in?
Yeah, how many inches it took on. When did you begin the demolition? Like, how long was that moisture in the home before you began the demolition? How far up did you rip out sheetrock and everything else?
In relation to how many inches you took off.
You're going to need to document all of that. I would document what was removed. This is a tricky part, and I would say that every home is going to be very individual, so you totally need to consult with someone, which we know a mold remediation guy. If you need contacts for things, let me know. But there are times when maybe there are bathtubs and showers and things that need to be busted out, and how extensive the demolition needs to be is probably something you need to consult with a professional on.
Absolutely.
After what was removed, once you're completely everything's demolished down to the point that you're going to take it to, what was used to treat it at that point? Good morning, Shelley. What was used to treat it at that point? What did you use to dry out the home? Did you use dehumidifiers? Did you use fans? How long did you allow it to dry out? That's incredibly important because we live in a very swampy climate. It takes a long time to dry out. So, you need to really make sure that before you go rebuilding, that house is dried out. And you need to be testing the moisture in the home.
Yep.
And if you need help with that, let us know because we know people.
So the humidity level needs to be at a certain point, and then the actual studs in the home need to be at a certain moisture level. So always consult with the mold remediation specialist or someone that is an expert in that to give you the exact numbers for you. Again, I feel that it's super important, and it comes at a cost to get a professional to certify and to walk you through the steps. But at the end of the day, again, it's part of the whole full disclosure, making sure that everything has been done properly to be able to relay that information to the potential buyers. And people love that.
Side note, to make sure that your home is livable for your family.
I
mean, we're talking about like what you need to document for a sale later, but these things are obviously important for you if you're going to stay there forever. I mean, you just need to make sure that these processes are followed. I know that a lot of people already went through this with Harvey, and thankfully there are, everybody got a real good education, I think, at that point. So even if it didn't happen to you, chances are someone who probably came and helped you during the process, and hopefully relayed some of this information. But we just want to make sure that we're putting it out there in case there's one thing here that maybe is going to add another step for you that could end up just benefiting you in the long haul. So how long you waited for the dry out before rebuilding is a big deal. And just make sure you document everything. Document. Make sure you're taking pictures along the way. Obviously your level of documentation and everything is going to, a lot of it's going to depend on whether you had insurance or not. But even if you didn't, and you're trying to file some sort of FEMA assistance, you're going to have to do that as well. Also, I would say that if you flooded multiple times and you feel like you're just done, because we're dealing with that with someone right now. There are investors who will still purchase homes that have flooded multiple times. So I would just kind of be careful who you trust. There are going to be people who might put a contract on your home that are wholesalers. And I'm not saying that, it can't ultimately get you what you need, but you just need to be careful, because they may just be looking for another investor to reassign it to for them to earn a fee off of. And then that ultimate investor could come with hard money lenders that, it could be a difficult close in a rocky process. And I'm just be careful is all I'm going to say, because you've been through enough. And so you need to be working with someone who's going to help make that smooth for you.
Yep.
Okay.
There's just another tip that I've heard from different mold remediation people is that if your home flooded, and I'm just throwing this out there, you don't have to do this, but if your home flooded and you've gutted everything down to the studs, it would not be a bad idea to go ahead and treat for termites, since all of those, all the cavities are open. So
yeah,
it's been brought to my attention a couple of times during Harvey, and again a couple days ago. But there are chemicals out there that will treat termites as well. So just a tip out there.
Oh, and if you need like a DIY type thing, I think Brett might have.
Yep.
Okay, so Bug Time in Humble. The owner, Brett, is a friend of ours. He's a neighbor of ours. And they carry the chemicals that you need to treat the insects, but I think also, do they have what you need to treat the?
Yes, they do have just go up there and just ask for
tell
Brett.
them everything that you need. Tell them what's going
explain
on.
to them the situation, and you just want to do it.
He can set you up with the DIY stuff that you need, so that you're not actually having to hire someone to treat everything. Anyway.
But always consult with a specialist that can give you the proper information and guidance. Always.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And document everything. Over disclose.
Yeah. If
you don't want to hide anything. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm really worried about them finding out about. No, you will get sued. You don't want that.
Yep.
Over disclose. Okay.
And like always, we're always here to answer any questions. So don't ever hesitate to reach out by text, email, phone, and we'll be glad to help you.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Hopefully we'll come on with better news next time. All right. You guys have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.